My name is Dr. Rosie Main, and I'm just going to be talking about toxic foods. And the biggest change is to just basically go back to God food versus man food. So for instance, I'm going to show you one that's very common nowadays, and these are Lunchables, okay? And so with Lunchables, and I've had this for about 10 years, if you look at the side of the box, this is what you want to look at, is the ingredients. It's like a list this big that can make a paragraph. And some of these things, you know, if you can't read it, don't eat it. So phosphate, sodium, diacetate, or erythro, you wouldn't want that. And if you look at this, they're basically preserved with a lot of chemicals. So this has been here for 10 years, doesn't even have the mold or, you know what I mean, bacterium. You know, nobody would eat this, you know, not even bacteria, so you would not be able to process it. So anything that has hydrogenated oils, man-made oils. So anything partially hydrogenated is basically oils that have been altered by man. Okay. The next thing that can be deceiving is, like, we talk about juices. So like sometimes people look at the label, right? So when it comes to toxic food, if you look at this, it has berries, so it looks good. And then it has, you know, things like, you know, natural flavors. Well, but if you look in the back, and it's hard to read because you can't even see it, sometimes it's so small, but the first sweetener, they add a sweetener to the berry juice, and it's high fructose corn syrup. So would you want this? So automatically, it's logic, you know, and some things are very common sense, others are not. You can take Gatorade, which most athletes today think is very healthy, and so this is made, like that color right there, that red color, is an artificial color. So anything that has like artificial dyes and stuff are again considered toxic. So you would want to get rid of that. And you know, this is logical. I think people mostly know that this is not God food. This would be a man food. And then you have all the sugar attached. And this is, by the way, the amount of sugar it has for a serving size. So if you look at the back, when you read a label, it'll say 3 cookies. So servings per container is 15. So what I did is I got the sugar, and I basically calculated how much 3 cookies have. So could you imagine putting this amount of sugar in your, you know, coffee? And that's how this becomes an issue. And so it's not only the toxicity, it's the sugar. These are the things that, you know, people kind of get like with their kids. It has all the artificial dyes, and it's basically made with a lot of wheat flour, which you would think it would be a God food, but it's refined, okay? And then it has the hydrogenated oils. So that makes sense. Where I know that a lot of times, like Nutri-Grain bars, like what you're talking about, so this is where it gets a little bit deceiving, because now you're thinking you're being healthy. I'm eating wheat thins. And this is where, again, even though it says 100% whole grain, you don't read this. Everything here with a little heart, anything that says 0 trans fat, the government has allowed where it depends on the serving size. So let's say you only eat half of a little cookie, you know what I mean? It may say no trans fat, but if you eat like 5 of them, you're going to be getting a lot of this stuff. So you go to the ingredients. So whole grain, wheat flour, soybean oil, that's a hydrogenated oil. The only oils that are good are either olive oil, coconut oil, cornstarch, corn syrup. So again, high fructose corn syrup. So this would be, again, a no-no. So for the most part, I mean, I can go on and on. If you're going to have cheese, have the real cheese. Now, I mean, this is more logical. You would know that, but some can be deceiving. Of course, with man food, this is a total man food. So if you're sweetening your coffee with this, the number one thing with this is the partially hydrogenated oils that are very acidic. So when we talk about inflammation in your cells, this would just be a huge change right here. Just going into your cabinet and getting rid of this stuff. I mean, not even giving it away, just like having a bonfire. And what you're going to see, that this stuff doesn't even burn up because of all the hydrogenated oil. So does that make sense? Awesome. All right, so thank you. Hopefully that helped.